Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Treen, and every week I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things intuition. Through personal stories, experiences, and practices, offering energetic reflections to help you discover, connect, and fully realize how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to May 2024. How are you? How are you feeling after April? What feels different? And I ask that because, and we'll jump into May, but May does feel like a shift, like a really welcome shift. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving in to the energy impressions. And yeah, I want to get kind of straight to them because I was really inspired by them. If this is your first time listening, welcome, and welcome back to everyone who enjoys listening. I love hearing from you. And yeah, thank you so much to everyone who reaches out. It really means a lot to me because I am speaking, into the void, but I'm speaking to you. So please, if you feel a pull to connect, to reach out, share with something that you heard about on the podcast, or yeah, if anything resonated, please reach out to me. I love hearing from you. So before we dive into the energy impressions for May, I wanted to share with you the one thing that I've been so excited to finally host, and I found the right day and all the things moved together because it was taking me a moment to kind of look through the schedule and make sure that I could really create the right workshop for you to learn the art of spoon bending. So we're going to be doing a workshop on Saturday, May 18th from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time for connecting to your powerful, unique energy through the art of intuitive spoon bending to really connect and learn new ways, or really remember how to trust and surrender. There's so much you can learn about yourself, blind spots in trust and belief and all of the things that when we gain clarity on really support our lives in setting goals, calling things in, manifesting, whatever you want to call it, to learn your energy, to learn the blind spots in how much you really trust yourself and how you can do something. That's what we're going to explore. But really, it's going to be a lot of fun because you are going to be bending a spoon that at the beginning of the workshop, you couldn't. So I cannot guarantee that everyone will, but I feel like it is a very, very good chance that you will. And if not, during the workshop, you will always have the replay. So maybe the second viewing of the workshop. So for anyone that cannot make it on the Saturday, yes, you will get access to the replay. And when I create a replay, it respects the privacy of the attendees, so I don't include any of the shares or videos of anyone attending. It's only me and the content of the workshop. So yes, if you can't make it live, still get your ticket to join and then you will get access to the replay within 24 hours afterwards. So, yes, come join us. Learn the art of intuitive spoon bending. We're going to do intuitive exercises, some meditation, some connecting to your energy in different practices. And towards the end, you will be bending your spoon. So, pretty fun. Go to the show notes and you'll see a link there. Just click on that. You will see how to purchase your ticket. Very easy through my website. And yeah, join us on May 18th from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific. And of course, like I said, if you could not join us live, you will still get access to the replay. But I have had a lot of inquiry about it. And thank you so much for being excited about it too. And yeah, I can't wait. So the tickets are $33 Canadian, which is around $25 US. And that's for the 2 hours live and lifetime access to the replay. So yeah, I can't wait to do it. And I'm excited to see everyone there. All right, so let's dive into the energy impressions for May. And as always, if this is your first time listening, these energy impressions are for you to help you connect to your intuition, to really help you remember that connection to what you already know, to connect yourself to that wisdom and inner guidance and clarity that you always have within. And what I do is I go into a lovely meditation and I utilize my intuition to receive energy impressions that will help all of us and not the whole world, but you who are listening and myself to help us navigate through the month ahead with more clarity and more direction, to really be inspired and clear on how we want to work through the month, how we want to move through the month, how we want to connect to all the opportunity that is waiting for us. So take what you need and leave everything else, leave the rest. Take what resonates. If it feels like guidance and insight for you, it is. Trust that resonating feeling. Trust it. And let's get into it. Okay. So, the first thing that I really connected to for the energy of May was the zebra, the beautiful animal energy of the zebra, which represents the most beautiful shift, that shift of energy into joy. And it really felt like, okay, May is time for joy. Hold for joy. Pause for joy. Time to enjoy. The joy is making its way back to our awareness, back into our lives. And the zebra represents so many beautiful things: balance, joy, communication, community, self-confidence, empowerment, intuition, staying grounded. So much of the symbolism of the zebra really moves through all the rest of the energy impressions. So that's why I'm starting with it, because the zebra is here to remind us about our unique nature and that is part of where we will find the joy. Because zebra's stripes are as unique as our fingerprints. No zebra has the same stripe pattern. which is such a reminder, especially in the shadow and the light, the black and the white, the yin and the yang, that our unique energy, our imprint, our impression that we leave in the world, that is balanced by all parts of ourselves, that we don't have to hide any aspect that we perceive as not right, that we are criticizing based on what we feel we should be or should do. So the zebra is really also about releasing that criticism, that inner critic, that inner judgment, to recognizing and remembering that is not the true essence of what is your power. If it is disempowering you, then it is not you. So this month in May, it is really important to pay attention to when you are maybe speaking to yourself or having thoughts that are not lining up or are congruent with the joy that you have. And I understand that can be hard to find, especially after the last 4 months and really 4 years. But no, this month we have that space, that opportunity to remember our joy. And in my meditation, it felt like if it's hard to find, then connect to the whispers in the heart. Imagine if the whispers in your heart, that soft voice asking, telling, saying something. Imagine if it was shouting. What would your heart shout at you right now? What does your heart need you to listen to remember, to know, to do? Because that is a clue, a big clue, to where your joy is. And it may be in a completely new direction. You may find yourself at a crossroads, that there has been so much change that now you're not necessarily already moving in the change. You're in the crossroads, in that fork in the road. But you're ready. You're poised to go in one direction. So what direction is it? And I'll tell you, it may be the direction that you are not familiar with. That may be where your joy is. But when we go down a path, down the direction of the unknown, the unfamiliar, is that actually what we should be doing? What can happen is we start to look for people that are doing that too, which is good. In some places, people call these, mentors. Some people call them like expanders, because you get to see somebody doing something and going the way that you want to go, which, yes, very good, because there's so many stories of the impossible becoming possible because somebody did it. There's that classic 4-minute mile that was impossible until the one guy did it. And then after that, everybody was doing a 4-minute mile. So yes, looking to other people, for sure, a good thing. But what it feels like for me is to make sure that you are not looking to too many people, where you start to actually not be inspired, but you are comparing yourself. You're not in inspiration, you're in comparison. And what do they say about comparison? It is the thief of joy. So this month in May, pay extra attention to when you may be doing something that is actually stealing your joy. And that's part of the balance of this month. And I always have to say, and I can't imagine a month where I won't, and maybe it'll happen because we'll see, but the most impact that you will have on being able to see where your joy is being stolen is if you stay grounded. And we touched on this in April many times. So just another reminder, I won't go too much into it, but another reminder to make sure that you know how to ground your energy and that you're doing it consistently, not only when you need it. Because as with thirst, as they say, the moment you're thirsty, you're actually already dehydrated. It's very similar with grounding. When you realize you're ungrounded, you are already way ungrounded. So doing it consistently is so helpful to every aspect of our lives, but especially when we are wanting to be consciously creating things and making choices and decisions in the month that really serve our highest good. So staying grounded, very important. So the joy, getting back to joy. May is about joy. So how can we pause for joy each day? Where is it? Where is the joy? Can you find it? Can you find it every day? On the most difficult days, can you reach for the joy? Can you feel it, even for a moment? Because this is going to help us through the month so much. I really feel quite strongly, especially the way that I received it in the meditation. Joy is the helper for us through May. And we will kind of get back to joy a little later, but I wanted to go into the next thing that I experienced in the meditation was a lot of four-leaf clovers, looking for through the grass, the four-leaf clovers, looking for where the luck is. And it felt like that message of the luck is in the action. And that really goes with the crossroads, the change in direction. Trusting your action, trusting your steps, trusting the direction, and actually doing it. Because luck has been called preparation meeting opportunity. So there's a lot of trust in yourself this month. Trusting that the luck is there, that you have prepared for it, that you are ready to meet it, but you can't meet something unless you take steps towards it. You are meeting it. It is not meeting you. So trusting that luck, but taking the action and keeping your eyes out for the opportunity for all of that luck to really manifest, to show you where your luck lies. And that may be literal four-leaf clovers. So look for those too. But definitely the energy of luck is waiting. But we need to make the moves. We need to make the moves. Finding the joy, being in the joy. May is a big month, a dynamic month. But in the meditation for the energy, it also felt like there needs to be completion, that something needs to be finished. So what do you need to complete? What last steps are waiting for you? because that may take you to the luck by actually finishing the unfinished. So if I say, what have you started that needs to be finished? That right there, the first thing that came to your mind, that's it. So, how can you make more space to complete it? How can you prioritize the unfinished? And it's okay if we have been procrastinating, putting it off. That is natural and part of life. But for May, let's be in the reality of prioritizing and finishing it. But it did remind me that kind of unfinished energy. It did remind me about the meaning of finish, about the root, and looking into it to the etymology. It's the obvious, but just a reminder that to finish something, the main root is to end, right? But also to die. So, is there part of you, if something has been unfinished, that you've wanted to finish but have not? Is there part of you that feels like you're keeping it from being finished because you don't want that space of the unknown, of not having it there for you to go back to? For the grief that can come with completion. So it may be more about how you honor the endings in your life than you not being able to finish something. But imagine if by completing something that you started, imagine how much space that gives for the joy of finishing something, for the satisfaction and the trust that you gain, that you connect to when you finish something that you wanted to finish. Because guess what? If you started it, you wanted to finish it. So, can you trust yourself to finish it in May? Can you make a little bit of room for the fact that it may not be joy right away afterwards? And if that sounds hard, go back to trust. Find that trust. Because remember, the opposite of anxiety isn't calm, it's trust. The opposite of fear isn't courage, it's trust. The opposite of doubt isn't clarity, it's trust. And maybe the opposite of procrastination isn't self discipline. Maybe it's trust. So, how can you trust yourself to finish what you started and what you want to finish? Because that may be bringing you closer to that opportunity, bringing you closer to that luck, bringing you closer to the joy that is just waiting for you to bask in. So, May is really a month to make room for joy. But that doesn't mean you don't have to do some things. It doesn't come without action, but to welcome and invite and to enjoy. And of course, because I love the root words, I had to double check. All right, let's look at joy. Let's look at enjoy. But it was the meaning of enjoy that really connected, that felt the most aligned for me. So the meaning of enjoy, to enjoy, is to make joy. So this felt like a beautiful reminder for all of us that by finding joy, by enjoying something, is creating more joy. So that means we're sharing joy. Because when we make something, we tend to share it. So, how can you make more joy this month? How can that be the intention that runs through every decision you make? And I love that because it's not a solo journey. That's bringing joy to other people around you too. That's community. But the other side, the shadow, can be when we're enjoying, there can be part of us going back to that inner critical, judgmental part that may say, this won't last. This isn't productive. I don't deserve this. So pay attention to when that is happening and make sure that that is your voice. And I will tell you, from my experience, it is not. So how can you trust the choices you make this month that will bring you into joy? This is your task for May. How can you make so much joy in your life and in the lives of others? And I also wanted to share what Ted Andrews says about the zebra symbolism, the zebra energy. He has beautiful insights. And from his book, Animal Speak, he says, zebra energy will help you to take the apparently conflicting parts of your personality and weave them into a pattern which is unique, distinctive, and beautiful. The artist within you can live in harmony with the business person, the spiritual explorer, the decision maker, the dreamer, the practical goal setter. Neither overpowering the other, each retaining its place of importance and full expression. The zebra will teach you to honor the black and white sides of yourself without compromising yourself into a dull gray. Also teaching you how to seek out others who are like you, finding comfort in company in groups while maintaining your own unique identity. Your pattern of stripes, like a fingerprint, unlike any other. This combination of individuality within the community will be a powerful force in your life. So I don't always share other people's insights, but for the zebra, that one felt like an important one. That one came through in the meditation. So let's look at some intuitive soul questions that you can answer as a journal prompt, or you can answer as a voice note to yourself. But these are a way to really inquire and connect with your intuition and find some extra clarity for the month. So the first question you could answer, looking back at the past 4 months, what opportunity have you been preparing yourself for? Can you see what opportunity you have been preparing yourself for? Because, as we were saying, that will lead us to the luck. That will help us trust our direction. That will bring us into the joy, into balance. So that one, if that connects with you, make time to answer that one. And number 2, describe in detail what it feels like to enjoy yourself, to be in joy. What does it feel like? And you can even go a little deeper by what does it feel like in your mind? What does it feel like in your body? What does it feel like in your spirit or your soul? Like really allow yourself to be creative with it. And then number 3, How do you stop yourself from feeling joy and why? A simple question, but not a simple answer. But this will help you through the month to make sure that you are not having your joy taken from you through a habit. So, how do you stop yourself from feeling joy? And then the fourth question, if the whispers in your heart decided to shout, what is your heart shouting? What is your heart shouting at you to listen? And this one, if this resonates, if this connects with you, really try your best to take the first thing that comes, the first thing that comes to you. What is your heart shouting? Because there is a lot of insight and clarity in those whispers. So turn up the volume. What are those whispers saying? And that will really help you on the path this month. What direction? What direction to take? What thing to finish? How to find the joy? What opportunities you've been preparing for? How to honor your unique nature, your unique energy, your shadow and your light, the whole being. Because you'll need your whole self for May to really take advantage of the promise that is kind of moving through the whole month. And I am really looking forward to it. So thank you. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope that some or all or a few of these energy impressions resonated with you. As always, take what you need and leave the rest. I would love to hear, as I said, if you resonated with the energy that I'm feeling and moving through for May. And if you do have any thoughts or questions or wanted to reach out, you can send me a message through my website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram at treenlight.healing. All of the links for those are in my show notes, so just scroll down from where you're listening, easy to connect. And of course, if you want to support the show, hugely appreciated if you share this episode with a friend, follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give a little extra support, then please leave a review. It is so appreciated and really helps other people find the podcast too. So thank you again. Be kind to yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hi, Auntie Mary. I just wanted to say something very, very new.